Welcome back for another video on Game of Thrones Kingsroad. Today we talk about the Kraken. First thing, before entering the dungeon, make sure that you have the buffs coming from the God's Haven to increase your attack power and reduce the damage you take. Then I use the potion to increase my damage against beasts and reduce the damage taken from them by 8%, even though I am not sure if that potion is working on the boss here. Finally, I had a buff coming from the Alliance to increase my attack power by 7% and my defense by the same amount. In the dungeon, you have 5 different phases. For the first phase, you are on a ship. Basically, some tentacles will attack you most of the time in straight lines. You need to dodge the attacks and attack them to kill the first HP bar of the boss. Sometimes during the fight, the camera will zoom out, which means that you will take more AoE attacks. On the second phase, you are on the wall and 2 different tentacles will block your way. You need to cut them. During that phase, you will need to dodge some attacks coming from above, and on the second tentacle, one is gonna attack you from the right. You need to dodge that attack, otherwise it will throw you in the water and you will die instantly. But don't worry, because in that game mode, when you die, you can respawn directly. But the more you die, the bigger the time you will need to wait before respawning, so be careful about that. For the third phase, you are on an opened area and the boss will repeat the same attacks that you had on the first and the second phase. Attack in straight lines, areas, and circles. The boss will have 2 new attacks. He will throw some ink from left to right or right to left. You need to go on the opposite side if you want to dodge that attack. Or that phase in which he's opening the mouth, throwing some ink at you, and where you need to throw some projectiles in the middle. During the fourth phase, you will find 4 different Scorpios on the wall, 1 for each character in your team. Don't use the Scorpio to attack the boss directly, you will have almost no damage. Wait for the boss to carry some barrels and shoot at the barrels. This is the only way to beat that phase. For the last phase, you are one more time on an opened area, but you will find 1 Scorpio only on the hill, and you need to coordinate with your teammates, so one is always taking the Scorpio and shooting at the barrels that the boss will hold as on the 4th phase. This is very important because by hitting the barrels, you will make some explosion, lowering the days gauge of the boss, and this is the best way to deal some damage to him, alright? The 3 other allies in your team will need to attack the tentacles to deal some damage over time. And by the way, don't neglect your projectiles. You can have a pretty nice amount of damage, and you have a chest on the left of the map right below the Scorpio. Be careful though, because during that phase the boss will have a lot of AoE attacks and a brand new one. A message will tell you that the boss is preparing that attack and you need to go on the hill to dodge the attack. At the end, when the boss has 1 HP only, one guy needs to go on the Scorpio and shoot at the explosive barrels to end the fight. At the end, you have the score. It took me 7 minutes and 39 seconds, over 15 minutes available. You have the damage inflicted by your teammates, and after that, you can decide whether you want to claim some rewards or not. You can have basically 1 reward for free and purchase another one spending some golden dragon. Amazing luck on my side, by the way. For now, I don't know how many entries we can purchase per week, but I know that we have only 1 free entry per week, which is, considering the very bad luck I have in comparison with the other players, very bad in my opinion, because if I always have these rewards over time, it will take me ages before getting a great amulet. Ranking rewards. You have 3 different rankings. Basically, with the first one, you need to clear it as fast as you can with your team to be in the top ranking. These are the rewards you are getting. To be honest, the rewards are not that different between the rank 1 and rank 3. You are just getting 1 more amulet design. And then for the other ranks, you are still getting 1 Kraken tentacle box, which is still pretty good in my opinion. And for the top 100, you are getting 1 jewelry hardener. This is not a lot, but you can get that 1 time per week. The second ranking is based on a clear count. You need to clear the fight as many times as you can to be in the top ranking here. For the ranking rewards, you are getting some tentacles when you are in the top 10. Otherwise, you are getting only some green wagons. So if you have a crazy amount of time to spend, then do that. You will have a lot of rewards, but I won't probably do it considering that it's taking 7 minutes per run. And you need to do that during 1 entire week, so I'm pretty sure that people will do the same as for the enemy hideouts. the bandit camps, the echoes of the past, and the ferocious beast. For the last ranking here, this is way different. The higher the percentage of damage you will have at the end, the higher your rank in here. So basically, try to find some very weak people and try to solo the entire boss, so the higher the momentum and power you have, the better the ranking you will have at the end. And these are the rewards you are getting. More tentacles for the top 50 players, and then some copper. Crafting and polishing amulets. You will find 3 different types of amulets, the first one increasing your ranged attack damage, the second one the active skill damage, and the third one the strike combo damage. Personally, I will try to get only some increasing my skill damage. You have 3 different rarities, the blue one increasing your stats by 5%, the purple one doubling the stats, giving some more HP fixed, and adding a first effect on it. These are only stat effects. Basically, it can increase the stats given by your necklace, your earrings, or your rings, or give you some other stats, such as active skill casting speed, damage deal to dazed targets, or crit rate and crit damage, for example. Then, on the legendary amulet, you will one more time double the efficiency in comparison with the previous rarity here, so from 10% to 20% active skill damage and 1000 almost more HP here. You will also add another effect to the amulet. Different from the first ones that you had on the purple, here you will increase your attack power or give some lifesteal to your character or increase more stats as well, like crit rate, crit damage and stuff like that. These are the materials you need if you want to craft a legendary amulet. In my opinion, it will take maybe 2 weeks in total or 3 weeks if you are not lucky to get some good quality Kraken tentacle, and you need to get some legendary designs as well. Concerning the other materials, it requires a lot of normal ore and silver ore. And if you want to acquire some, you can complete some echoes of the past or do the same as I am doing since the beginning, send some workers to produce some. You can basically get a lot. Concerning the amulet polishing, it works the same as for the jewels if you want to level up your amulet. Basically, you need other amulets to throw inside to get some experience. You will get more efficiency on the main stat and probably on the sub effects as well as for the jewels. Classes and builds. For that content, I recommend to go for some damage sets only. The champion set, the savant set, or the brute set. But if you want to go with the brute set, use that as main set because it will block your HP at 35%. But if you equip that as main set, you will have a higher amount of damage reduced on your character, alright? So this is the gear I have currently on my assassin, and on the right, I have mostly things to increase my damage. On the trait tree, I decided to put every single point I had into my damage. Damage on bosses, by the way, in priority here, and attack power first. Then some crit damage, and that's all. For the artifacts, the twin axes is the best one for that content. You will not only give some rage to your camarades, but you will also reduce your cooldowns by 50% and increase by a lot your damage. So this is the best active one to take. And for the passive one, for the assassin, I recommend to go for the Regar's Ruby, the tunic on the Sellsword, and the Dark Sister on the Knight. For the skills, ambush at least with a weaken +1, so you can increase the damage taken by the opponent by 10% if I'm not mistaken, with when it is level 1. And then cutting mutilation plus with opening spotted +1 at least, so you can start increasing the damage you inflict to enemies. Then take the ignite or the poison so you can increase the damage you inflict to enemies. For the combos, I decided to go with the strike combo 1 because it is shorter to execute, I can repeat that more often during the fight, and I can put some blood bursts on the target, increasing the damage they received by a lot. If you play a knight, go with boost morale plus so you can decrease the defense of the boss by 30% for 12 seconds, and you enter directly fighting spirit, increasing by a lot the damage you deal, and it's also decreasing the rage consumed by your skills. Advancement +2 to increase the crit rate and crit damage of your teammates, very important. Then for your own damage, go with the slashes plus, best way to deal some damage with the knight. And for that fight, I'm pretty sure that the injury to apply some dots on the enemy can increase a lot your damage over time. Finally, ignite weapon to increase your damage. And for the strike combos, I prefer going with the strike combo 2, a bit longer to execute than the first combo here, but but when you are taking these effects on the right, you have way more damage with the combos. Finally, with the Sellsword, I recommend to go with the Roar and maybe take a Berserk +1 analyse so you can increase the crit rate and light attack speed of your allies by 10% and 6% and a bit more by upgrading that to the max. I suppose that the vitality can help in here, so your teammates will have some life steal. I think that the rampage skill can help a lot in that content. You will hit faster and deal way more damage with the combos, and you can decrease the damage taken by enemies and increase your own crit rate and crit damage during the effect. So I'm pretty sure that that effect can help a lot in here. I will need to try that in the future. Then ignite weapon to increase your damage, of course. And then for the skill to deal some damage, I hesitate between these two. Merciless Strike is faster to execute and probably deal the same amount of damage, but Earth Strike Plus take more time to execute, so sometimes you miss some attacks. Finally, for the basic attacks, I recommend to go for Strike Combo 1. It's the faster one to execute, and basically you deal high damage and you can apply some destruction stacks on the target with that. The complete fight. Okay guys, that was all for the video. Let me know what you think about that in the comment below. Personally, I enjoy that content for now. I don't know on the long term what I will feel about the rewards because it seems very low for now. Let me know your thoughts about that. Have a really nice day, take care and see you in the next video. Bye bye.